This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett, and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight. All right, let's go number 2. I mean, I said to Larry, we do 2 of these at a time, and I said, you want to go number 2? And then I realized what I was saying. So, hello, Larry, how you doing,
hello,
pal?
It's great. We dodged a bullet. San Francisco almost got in the Super Bowl this year.
Yep.
Wow, that would have been 2 weeks of hype and promo we didn't need here.
You're not a big football fan, are you?
I can watch football. It's just like the Super Bowl is just it's such a hyped event that.
Okay,
in fact, the only professional football game I've ever been to was a Super Bowl. My friend won a trip to the Super Bowl in 1980, is before I was doing stand-up. And
so you went.
I went, yeah.
Yeah, you went for the trip.
I got a trip. It was in L.A. It wasn't that far. So.
Well, I got to tell you something. I mean, I always kid you about the fact that you don't have a modern cell phone. You don't have a modern TV set because you don't have internet service in your apartment. And I always give you a bad time about that. But here's what you can give me a bad time about. I have no idea how football is played. I've had the best try to explain it to me. I've had them do it on the show. I've brought in, what's his name? Rice? What was his name? The player, Rice was his last name?
Oh, Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice.
Great.
I brought in, I think, the big guy from the 49ers years ago.
I remember, he was on with me one morning,
Yeah.
Randy.
Oh, yeah.
He was huge.
Yeah. Randy
Cross.
Right, he was on my show regularly.
Yeah, it was funny.
Weekly. Anyway, I had all these football players try to explain football to me and how it's played. And none of them could do it. Because they always start about 5 steps ahead of where I have to start. And they go, well, then you get a down. And then I have to say, explain what a down is. And they go, well, a down is blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, I don't understand any of this. Okay? It really is a complicated game for me. And, baseball I understand. Baseball's very simple. To understand. It's a simple game. But this is not a simple game. Am I right or am I wrong? Do you understand football, right? You understand what
I have a basic understanding of it, yeah, but it is very complicated.
Yeah.
Baseball's much simpler.
Baseball, you just, and I understand it completely. You know something? I understand. I watch and understand curling.
That I don't get at all.
Yeah, but I enjoy watching it for some strange.
It's the brooms.
Well, no, but there's something so easy about the game. The guy gets on the ice and he slides down with the stone, and then he lets it go. And, I'm not going, come on, hurry up, do this. It's not aggressive. And then it finally gets to, they start brooming it. They start taking the broom, and I guess you make it go different directions on the ice with the broom or whatever. And you try to just knock off one of these these stones that's already in there, that's maybe your opponent's, and it's all so easy. There's no power to it.
That's the beauty of the simplicity. It must have been invented by guys who were bored in the country in Canada.
Well, I think it's very similar. There's an Italian game called bocce ball.
Bocce ball, yeah, I run by the bocce ball court.
Yeah, bocce ball is again that kind of simple game.
Yeah,
I mean, this is kind of an ice version of bowling, if it were. I don't know, but that I can watch and understand because
football is very complicated.
I don't understand what's going on. I think you have to get to the other side of the field and then kick the ball over the what is that thing?
The goal post.
The goal post.
Well, you kick it. You try to get the ball and take it over the goal line to get 6 points, or if you get close enough, you kick it through the goal post for 3 points.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's incredibly. The men are huge. They weigh about 360 pounds. It's a very violent game.
But why is it the quarterback? See, I do know something about it. The quarterback is always not a big guy, not a big.
Quarterback's very small usually. Yeah.
Well, why is that?
He's quick. So he's got to run away from the big guys that are trying to crush him.
Oh, I see. And the big guys they don't run very fast, do they?
Some for their size, they're actually fairly quick. Yeah.
Well, if you're the small guy, you could probably run faster than the fat guys.
Yeah, but you got like 6 of them coming right at you. And, those guys, I read that they're so beat up by the time they're 50, they're so arthritic they can barely get out of bed.
But they're not as beat up as their wives.
That's true.
Every time you turn around, there's another football player who's beat the crap out of his wife. But you know why that happens? I think is because there's no turn-off switch. It's like a guy who comes back from the war and then he's abusive to his wife and whatever. Maybe he takes a gun and kills his entire neighborhood. It's because we turn on the switch, but we don't know how to turn it off. Mm-hmm. And these guys' switch is turned on, and it's turned on all the time because they got games to play all the time. And so that aggressiveness exists in their private life as well, and that's why they wind up beating up their wives. Do you agree with that?
I can certainly see that, sure.
Yeah. So, I'm not trying to excuse the behavior, folks, but I'm just saying this is why. When you teach people how to be aggressive, you also have to teach them how to stop it. And nobody's there to teach them how to stop it.
No off switch.
We send a guy off to war. He's supposed to kill people. There are bullets always flying at him and everything. He comes home. They say, "Oh, thank you for your service," but they do nothing to turn off the switch. And say, "Now you're back in society. The rules are completely different." Which of course to me doesn't make any sense because if you can kill one place, you should be able to kill anywhere.
Yeah, you've got to. There must have been tens of thousands of people that just ruined that went to war and came back and were kind of shattered for the rest of their life. What
really bothered me the other day? There was a story about they killed this guy who's the head of ISIS. All right, and they killed him by bombing his home. I think they also killed his children and his wife as well. Okay, all right. And they're going, "Yay, we got the guy who's the head of Al Qaeda. We killed him." And I'm going, do we really have to celebrate that?
I know.
We don't celebrate something like, oh, look, name a mass murderer.
Charles Manson.
Charlie Manson, yeah. Look at Charlie Manson. Oh, bravo, Charlie. You killed, how many people did you kill, Charlie? Yeah. Bravo. No, but when we kill somebody like the head of ISIS, we go, that's fine. Well, I mean, killing is killing, isn't it?
So we've brought ourselves down to their level.
Exactly. You say, well, he'll kill again. Well, he's not going to kill again. The guy who's going to replace him is going to kill again. So it doesn't really solve the problem, right?
Yeah, and I thought didn't they kill him in Syria? So are we even illegally allowed to do something in someone else's country?
Who knows? Who knows? Anywhere a drone can fly, we can kill somebody. You know?
Yeah.
But I never got that whole concept that we have. We just so idolize murder, and I'm going, this is ridiculous. We're absolutely ridiculous. So you've been playing anywhere lately?
I did a couple of sets. Attell had me go on the other night, and I hadn't been in front of a real crowd in forever, so that was actually kind of fun.
Yeah, and how did it go?
It went surprisingly well. I'm getting to the point where I feel like I'm too old to be getting up on stage. The crowd's younger, but they seem like they really like me, so it was fun.
Do you feel that you confident enough? I mean, you've been doing this for how many years? You've been in comedy?
40 years.
40
yeah.
years in comedy. Do you feel that after 40 years, do you feel you have control of that stage when you get on it?
No, I don't.
You don't.
It's a bad thing, but I never got that. The big thing, which Bob Saget told me as an open micer, you got to have that confidence, and I never really quite got it.
Well, maybe that's your act. A guy who doesn't have confidence.
Yeah, I've had to fake it.
yeah, but I mean, after 40 years, you get up on any stage with any audience and probably put them in the palm of your hand. I mean, have you had any bad sets in recent years?
Oh, sure.
Really? I mean, ones where nobody laughed?
I can't. The last 2 years you can't count because you've been going up in front of 8 people. But,
right. No,
yeah, I think
eight people is scary.
Yeah, I haven't bombed in front of a big crowd, I think, in a long time.
Because people said to me, gee, Alex, how do you get up in front of 8,000 people? Like the Frost Amphitheater, we had 8,000, 9,000 people. How do you get up in front of 8,000 or 9,000 people? I said, it's easy. Just get up there and do stuff. I said, you know what's scary? He said,
8
no.
people.
I said, the Holy City Zoo when there's 8 people in the audience.
Well,
I
that's
said,
so true. And the Frost Amphitheater, those are fun. And you go in a small club like that's nobody there. That's more terrifying.
It's terrifying because it's just 8 people, When you have 8,000 out there, it's just this body of humans. It's a different, it's easier, oddly enough, and not as frightening. And I was never frightened to get up in front of 8,000 people, but then once I went up at the Holy City Zoo and I was humma.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
well, when was the first you did radio? When was the first time you actually did a live event?
Oh God, I don't know. There was a time in my life where I was afraid of getting up in front of any kind of audience.
Yeah, I would think so.
I think it had to be in San Francisco. I think, although no, when I was in Houston, I, for instance, emceed the Rolling Stones concert. So
wow.
I got up in front at the Houston Coliseum or whatever. I got up in front of, I don't know, in those days about 5,000-6,000 people. I don't know how many people filled that place, But even I remember then I was terrified to do it because getting up in front of all those people and whatever. But the time I finally I think had an audience and did the shows was with you guys when we did my shows, my comedy shows, and I learned how to work in front of an audience. I learned pretty fast, oddly enough. So,
yeah, you told me a trick to. You said to get the audience to applaud, and you just walk out. You just start clapping your hands yourself, then they start doing it.
I don't think I said that. Somebody else must have said that.
Well, somebody told you that, then you told me.
Okay. Because I just never had a problem in San Francisco. I'll tell you why. The other reason why, it's a simple reason, is because these were all people who listened to my radio show. So all I had to do was either reference the radio show or, they were ready for me.
Right.
And I didn't have to tell them who I was. When you go out on stage, say in a strange town, your first 5 minutes is very important because
nobody knows who you are.
Well, also your comedy lives in a certain world, all right, and nobody else lives in that world, and now you have to bring them into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you would do one of my shows, because they knew who Larry Brown was and what Larry Brown said and so on, you got laughs from the minute you walked out on the stage. But if you go to
a lot easier.
Go to a town where they don't know you, that first 5 minutes, am I right? The first 5 minutes of your act is where you establish who you are. And I've said this before on the show. You told me before that what was the joke you said establishes yourself to the audience?
Oh, someone stole my identity. Now his life sucks. So.
Yeah, and once you do that joke in and of itself tells people, oh, this is who Larry Bubbles Brown is.
Yeah. So that you just hit him with that right away. So that was always a good start.
Yeah, and then you go from there. And they've now been brought into your world, And Bob Rubin used to have to drag people into his world. Bob Goldthwait used to have to drag people into his world before anybody understood what he was doing. And it's it's important that you do that. But I used to just be terrified to get in front of an audience. And then
they'd always said that public speaking was one of the greatest fears of people. I don't know. Maybe that's true.
Well, I've been getting up in front of a public. And then they said, well, the best thing to do is get up on stage and you think of everybody in the audience as being naked. And I never got that exactly.
No, me either. That was the weirdest.
Because then I said, well, then my greatest fear is standing up on stage and being naked myself. And, But they say, just imagine the audience is naked. And I'm going, that doesn't calm my fears. Outside of the fact that I'd be looking at some pretty ugly bodies for the most part. So how's your love life? I never asked you this. How's your love life?
Oh, nothing. I'm not even trying.
Not even trying?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Well, oops.
Yeah, I wish I had some.
You hear that?
That's my juicy.
That was my phone going off, but I just turned it off on my watch. Oh, you wouldn't understand this. Anyway.
Well, speaking of which, apparently Sprint is going to 5G, and I have to get this done really soon because my flip phone's not going to work on their system anymore.
Well, I mean, even like old iPhones. Shecky, my friend Shecky, got a new phone for free.
Yeah, they said they're giving me I can get a free Samsung smartphone.
Yeah, because they're going to 5G, and they're doing away with all the old phones. They're doing away with all I think they're still going to do 4G, but the 3G and whatever. And what you have is probably, you probably have the only cell phone in existence that has to be hooked into a wall. Anyway.
They said I could get they actually still have flip phones, but they said we can have about one of those a month.
Well, just get a new phone. What were they willing to give you?
They're willing to give me a Samsung A35 or something. They said it's a pretty basic smartphone, but I figure I won't. I'll be like you with football. I won't be able to understand the goddamn thing, and I'll throw it against the wall.
No, it's an Android. It's an Android system, which I'm not crazy about. But nevertheless, it's an Android phone. If they can give you an iPhone, which is Apple, I would take that over anything. But, then you'd have to...
Will I be able to figure the thing out?
I think so. Listen, I'm telling you now, the iPhone is a pretty simple phone. I mean, to begin with, making calls is the last thing it does. Whenever they go out and they're saying, here's the new iPhone, here's what it has, they all talk about the camera and the apps and the stuff. And by the way, it also receives calls.
Yeah, this is the last thing they mentioned.
Yeah. Do you get texts on your current phone?
I do, yeah.
Oh, okay. So I could text you, actually.
Oh, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But other than that, I just, what the hey?
I kind of like texting. You don't have to talk to somebody.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't see, now you're getting in with it. Now all you have to do is... No, but I'm saying if you were to get a new phone, I would get just one of the new smartphones. Apple would be my preference for you. They're very simple to use. They're very easy to understand. And if you want to make a call, making a call is the simplest thing in the world. You just go to the little icon that's a phone, and the program comes up, and you dial who you got to dial.
Well, I'll take a look at it. I'm already afraid of it.
Yeah. Well, we all get afraid of stuff. Marjorie, my wife, she takes her forever to get used to something new. And my friend Shecky, he still wants Windows 7 in his brand new computer.
Really?
Yeah, he can't understand his new computer. And I'm going, well, that the trouble is, the thing is that computers were made to be simple, but they've gotten more complex. But all you have to understand is you just got a bunch of different programs that you initiate by clicking on them, and then what you really have to understand is the program that you're using, not the phone. The phone is as easy as pushing something with your finger to make it come up, but the different applications, maybe you have to understand how some of them work. So I wouldn't be afraid of it. I think your problem is you go into it being afraid. I've told people before, if you're afraid going into it, then you're never going to be able to master it.
I know.
But if you're not afraid of it, just realize it exists and that it's there to serve you, then I think it'll be okay. But then again, you're Larry Bubbles Brown. There's no accounting for that. So
yes. Low IQ.
Yeah. I'll tell you something. My big problem now in life is that you remember me with computers, right? Who was the first guy you ever knew who used a computer?
Yeah.
And who was the first guy to ever bring a portable computer into a radio studio?
Mm-hmm.
Me. They told, in fact, at Live 105, they told me, don't use that computer while you're on the air. It distracts you. And now today, if you go to any studio in America, they've got computers there. And everybody's looking at a computer. So, I mean, I loved technology. And I loved the internet. And I loved what the computer could do and the future it could bring. And I decided it's caused us nothing but misery.
Exactly.
It really, I mean, people used it for all the wrong reasons. I mean, this call that just came in here, robocall.
Yeah, those are out of control.
Yeah. I mean, and people hacking and other countries hacking us and our infrastructure. And I'm going, that beautiful future I thought about has turned into a nightmare. So I'm becoming a major Luddite based upon the fact that the promise of the future wasn't the promise of the future. It just made things ugly. It also made the government easier to spy on you and a whole bunch of crap like that.
Yeah, it makes it real easy to set up a police state.
It absolutely does. So I mean, I just wish that people were using it for all the right reasons and not all the wrong reasons. And it has not made my life easier. I keep thinking about when I was a kid and the simplicity of when I was a kid. I grew up in the I was born in 1939, so I grew up in the 40s. You grew up when? In the 50s? In the 50s. Our lives were so much better then. I really believe so. And we didn't and we didn't have the technology because technology should not dictate your quality of life. And I was a pretty happy kid, and I had a good life in Marin County, and my parents were middle class, and we survived. I remember, it's always a little hard. It was paycheck to paycheck, which, by the way, came in the form of an actual paycheck. How do clubs pay you? Do they pay you by check now?
They pay by check, yeah.
Okay.
I
just thought they might have direct deposit.
Actually, a lot of the smaller clubs do Venmo and PayPal.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not direct deposit, but it's another form of paying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
They asked me, "Do you have a Venmo?" And I just hold up a flip phone.
I don't even know what Venmo
I'll
is.
get you a check.
I haven't used Venmo. I use a thing called Zelle, which is the bank has. Like Marjorie, when she wants to send me some money to pay me for something, she does it through Zelle, and she can just send money bank to bank. Zelle is very good. But
Okay.
anyway, that's about it for us this time. We'll get together again next week. Have some more
We will.
fun with Larry. I enjoy Larry. Larry's a smart guy, and he's fun to talk to. Thank you, Larry.
Thanks, Alex.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Larry Brown. Always love to talk with Larry, as you know. It's a big deal with me. I think he's terrific. And he's a really great guy. Great guy. Anyway, absolute, not a Luddite. I can't say he's a Luddite. A Luddite would hate computers and things like that, technology. He doesn't. So, that's it. Well, we have only one person waiting in our waiting room tonight. Thanks a lot. Come on. Or maybe it's because they say, oh, Alex starts at 5 minutes after. That we should be just, what I could do is just play another interview here if you want me to. If nobody's going to call. Anyway, I got to tell you something. Here's the power of commercials, okay? There's a commercial on the air about a guy. He's on a date with a woman, and she looks at him, and she gets a sour look on her face because it turns out that his let me see here. Where I got to do something here. Hold on a moment. Because he has something wrong with his shirt, and what it is this, right? Have you seen that? Where it's like all. So every night when I go on, I worry that this is not tight enough, okay? And come on. I'm not going to go buy the stuff that they say to use to make those not droop, because they got all kinds of chemicals in them and everything. But every night before I go on, I'm going, is this okay? Is this all right? Because I saw that damn commercial. Here, let me see. I could get a clothespin and then do that, okay? But then that accentuates this. What is this? When did I get that? When I start looking like an iguana? That's what I don't understand. That's part of the aging process. Looking like an iguana. Well, we have two people here, okay? Yeah, two people here. Well, let's admit them and see what happens here. I have to go to my Zoom panel, and there they are. It's Jeff, who can always be counted on, and Alan, who can always be counted on. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Jeff, you got to go find your... Oh, he pushed the wrong button, and we lost him. He was trying to get his audio.
He'll be back.
Huh? I should talk him through this sometime, I guess, So it's just you and me, huh?
Yeah. There'll be more.
Yeah, you just eating your way through.
When you did the thing with the Will Durst wife and several people, you do run into about 8:05 for me, about 5 minutes after.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been noticing people been coming on about 5 minutes after.
Well, the first part of the show was fun. Become join it.
I enjoyed the first part of the show, listening to you talk to Larry Bubbles Brown.
Yeah. Last night I was listening to you guys on Jack's show, and God, I was really I was disappointed in you guys last night.
Oh. And
I'll tell you why. Jack brings up topics like, who is the best music composer? Right? Whose music do you think was the great composer? Well, how do you do that? A composer of what? If you say, I think somebody said, what's her name? Chelsea Morning. What's her name? Joni Mitchell. And I'm going, to myself, gee, Joni Mitchell sucks. You know, she just absolutely sucks.
Why don't you talk to Jack about how to set up his show differently? At least at the end, he doesn't say goodnight to Jack Benny and all the other people anymore that are all dead and don't hear them. And
yeah,
you know,
yeah. I don't tell anybody what to do with their show because I don't like people telling me what to do with my show.
You're the boss,
show.
though.
Huh?
You're the boss.
Wait a minute. Let's see here. Who is Brian the Feelgoods? I bet it's... Well, there's Kevin. And there's Brian. Oh, where are you, Brian? Oh, well, he's connecting his audio. Where are you calling from, Brian? Wait a minute. Okay, you there, Brian? Can you hear us?
I'm here. How you doing, Alex?
Yeah. Have you called the program before? I think.
Yeah, I try to only call when I'm in the bathtub.
Is there a reason for that? Do we during tubby time?
No, it's just a habit of mine. I just like to call when I'm in the bathtub.
Oh, okay. But what happens if you have to get out of the bathtub?
You see my pecker. Because I stand up.
Well,
you know what I mean?
just turn your camera the other way because I don't want to get a lot of heat from YouTube.
Okay, well then that's what I'll do because I'm a good sport, Alex.
Well, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you're not here to ruin my show by showing your pecker. Okay. Where did that term ever come from? Pecker.
Pecker. Like
I don't know.
East Coast thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a Jersey thing.
Yeah. Where are you calling from? Well, you're calling from the tub, obviously. You know,
from a tub in New Jersey.
In New Jersey, a tub in New Jersey. Yeah. By the way, speaking of New Jersey, I saw an item today about New Jersey. There is one little area in New Jersey where you have a pocket of immense amounts of COVID deaths, COVID, and I'm trying to remember where it was. I didn't.
Perth Amboy.
Is it Perth Amboy?
No. I don't know.
No. Is Perth Amboy in New Jersey?
Well,
yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
We've had a history. You'd think it'd be near Philly, but a lot of the COVID pockets going back were up near Red Bank and all, which is right.
That was it. Because they call it they call it Redvid or something like that because it's only Republicans who are dying.
Your color's better, Phil.
Yeah.
I'm dying.
Well, it's right across from New York. It's a lot of the New York money that comes into New Jersey so they can live in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Springsteen's from that area. A lot of old money up there. That's where John Stewart retired with his farm up there. That whole area right there. But yeah, and we vacation up there all the time. We love it up there.
Yeah, but maybe that isn't the place then. But there's some place where it's highly Republican, and the people, they're dying. They're faster and more of them than anywhere else in this part of the country.
The Jewish Home for the Aged.
Yeah, the Jewish Home for the Aged, right.
They're all dying.
What are you doing here tonight, Phil?
I heard you yelling, I got nobody. So I try to get on.
I didn't say your name 3 times.
It doesn't matter.
You know.
All you got to do is say nobody, and he answers.
Yeah, I saw you were in pain, and I stepped up to the plate.
Really, I'm more about this.
God, it's wrinkled. You should be ashamed of yourself.
No, but I saw that thing with a guy out on a date, and the girl who's with him doesn't.
Yeah, I saw that one where the shirt's down to his thing.
Puppet.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
You should be ashamed. You're a big time radio personality, and your shirt is wrinkled.
Oh, here comes Jack Bishop, by the way. Here comes.
And his shirt's wrinkled too.
Is it really? No, he's just wrinkled.
Bill spent all that money on a green screen, and all he's got is the desert behind him.
Yeah. That's a nice picture.
Dreary desert.
Yeah. Hello, Jack. Wait a minute.
Hello there, Governor.
Okay, now I was talking about you for a few minutes
Yes,
ago.
I heard.
That's why he's here.
And I heard you guys talking about who who was like who's your favorite songwriter? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And people were coming up with some nuts answers like Joni Mitchell.
It was just people's opinions.
You know,
I didn't ask them to have
say Joni Mitchell was a great composer is going to be big news to Beethoven. You know?
Well, that was one person's choice. My choice was Harold Arlen, who nobody has ever heard of. Right?
You like Barry Manilow? Weren't you a Barry Manilow guy?
But actually, his writing partner, Yip Harburg, was amazing. Was amazing. Yeah. But anyway, and they wrote the score for The Wizard of Oz.
Yes, we mentioned that last night.
Yes, but I can name a better composer.
Well, I'm a Harold Arlen fan because he wrote the tune that Don and I call our song, Until the Real Thing Comes Along, about two people who meet late in life. Mm-hmm. And get married, fall in love, get married, and they say this will have to do until the real thing comes along. I think there are a lot of
out of pure, and nobody mentioned who I consider. Well, actually, the three people I consider the greatest songwriters of the 20th century.
Okay.
One of them is John Lennon.
Definitely.
Incredible lyrics. And the second one is wait a minute, hold on a second. My mind is a blank.
Paul Simon.
No way.
John Prine.
No.
Okay.
Chuck Berry.
Napoleon the 14th.
Oh, stop it. No, Chuck Berry, because if you listen to Berry's lyrics, they're extraordinary. They are just extraordinary. And my favorite composer of the traditional sense was Cole Porter. Nobody beats Cole Porter in my mind.
Well, the only problem with Cole Porter was that he was too hip for the room for the people that he was working for.
No, it was an erudition that he had.
Yeah,
it made
George
him
Formby.
too fancy for the room.
But I would say you're forgetting two great songwriters of the latter part of the 20th century. Smokey Robinson, who wrote the greatest rock. Yeah, okay, that's your opinion. Smokey Robinson, and of course the man who writes for the common man in country music, Willie Nelson.
Yeah, well, Willie Nelson's done some fine stuff. But I'm talking about the craft of songwriting, in which, for instance, John Lennon made the lyrics fit like a glove. The words just rolled into each other.
I think what you're missing, Alex, is that Jack's group is not that sophisticated.
That's correct. How about
Thank you,
Kevin?
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate that.
No problem. Anytime.
You know, I mean, but how you can say Joni Mitchell? Ugh.
Because the person liked Joni Mitchell. I didn't ask them to grade these people on a curve.
Yeah, but I mean,
I asked them, who do you like?
I was just amazed with the answers that people were giving. You know, did you hear it at all, Kevin? You're nodding your head there.
Yeah, I heard Mike say Truckin' was written by Jerry Garcia, who actually did write part of it, but Bobby Ware and Phil Lesh also wrote it, but actually Robert Hunter wrote most of the lyrics for all the Grateful Dead songs.
Okay. So, you know, I mean, I just think that to say, give me one, you know, it's impossible to name one.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, there are a lot of great.
No matter what you're thinking of at the time, really.
Well, you got to remember what I said. Give me your favorite. I didn't say give me the best. I said give me your favorite.
Well, please don't ask that question again, because they really came up with some stupid answers.
Well, I don't have the intellectual crew that you have. Like, wait a minute, let me see who's on that.
Well, we have somebody in a bathtub tonight.
Oh, well, hey, and Jeff. Now, Jeff would probably have a very erudite answer. That's a new word I just learned, by the way, Alex.
Probably a Republican, an erudite.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Hey, every now and again, somebody will bring up this conversation because it's a totally original conversation, and I'll say I'm a big fan of George. Turned me on to many years ago, and get them to say, "Who's George Formby?"
Oh, George Formby! I love George Formby.
Isn't that the guy that refinishes tables on TV?
No.
Oh, that's Homer Formby.
Haven't you heard of this? The hit song "Chink in a Window" or the window washer song? There's a lot of great songs. Or the airman, what's it? The air raid warden.
Air raid warden.
I would write the theme for the pillow guy.
No, I would play some of his music here, but I'd get all kinds of problem with having to not pay, but they demonetize me, and it's a copyright warning and all that crap. But no, cleaning windows.
That's it.
Hey, Brian, is that real badger brush, or you using
Come on, we're not talking about his bath habits.
Yes, it's
toiletry hour.
It's real badger. You can tell by the color tones. And I am using a straight razor because I'm old school and I listen to George Formby, so I use old shit.
Great razor.
Oh yeah.
In the bathtub?
God. Yeah. Is that so you can collect the blood? Is that why you do it in the bathtub?
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
I used to do very badly with straight razors and things like that. It's so much so my floor was just littered with little Japanese flags.
Oh, you got them. Now that they've got these razors with 5 blades, I can actually shave without cutting myself.
Well, you know what? Here's something I bet you don't have. Here's something I bet you don't have right now, and I used to have it always around because I figured you really needed it. Okay, and it was called a styptic pencil. Do you remember?
I had one of those. Yeah. It was white. It came in a little tube, and you would touch your face where you cut yourself.
And it would coagulate the blood. But
I still have one.
You know what a styptic pencil is?
No, actually, I don't.
It's salt.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just salt. And what you're doing is putting salt on your wound. Don't rub it in. But it's salt on your wounds, and that just stops immediately stops the bleeding. Yeah. But you don't need it that much anymore because most of these razors today don't cause that problem anymore. Although, what were you going to say, Brian?
I cut his nose off now.
I was going to say, I got one right there. I mean, but, this is me. I mean, I'm a weirdo.
Okay, well, why don't you cut off your nose to spite your face? Thank you.
Coming right up.
There we go.
Can I ask a really bizarre question that came up, not last night, but came up in conversation last night between me and Donna? We ordered Chinese. And
or as Tony calls it.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, my stepson, like your wife, has been to China. And the world's largest McDonald's is in Beijing when last I heard. So I wonder.
Actually, the McDonald's isn't as present in China as one other.
What's that?
KFC. There's something like at least when we left, there were over 4,000 in China.
Well, as far as I knew, the world's largest McDonald's was in Beijing with capacity for 2,000 people. So I started thinking, what do the Chinese call going out for McDonald's? What is their generic or derogatory, even better yet, derogatory term for going to get American?
I have no idea.
Ask Marjorie. I bet she knows.
No, I don't think she knows.
Yeah, McDonald's, especially in corporate America, has been known to assimilate to their cultures. Like McDonald's in India, they don't serve cow. So I don't know. Like, I think the whole idea behind corporate America is be of the people, even if they might be foreign. I mean, we don't necessarily buy a Toyota now and think we're buying foreign because they don't try to be foreign.
Well,
So I don't know. I don't know if it's cut and dry like that, like going out to get American. I don't think that's what they're going for when they're opening up
right.
restaurants over there.
KFC in China serves duck.
Exactly.
Yeah. But
They have Ronald McDonald.
I don't.
Good question. Good question.
I'll tell you, there's got to be a joke there, but I can't think it right now.
Ronald
You gotta make
McDonald.
one.
Huh?
Imagine Ronald McDonald as a Chinese man. There's something wrong with that.
McDonald's?
Ronald McDonald, the clown.
You have to order off 2 menus, one from column A, 2 from column B,
That is
and
joke
the
either.
fish sticks.
So the Chinese eat a lot of McDonald's food because Ronald McDonald's a clown. But when they eat it, clowns don't taste funny.
What?
No. Forget
Yeah.
it.
Clowns are supposed to be funny.
I messed up the joke.
Hey, that's as bad as some of my material. Getting a new writer like I'm working on.
Oh shit! Huh?
Where do you think he stole that material from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Benny.
But
Jack Bishop.
yeah, but in China, we were this close to going to a KFC because we were in Guilin, and it was late at night, and we had spent the day out, and we were hungry, and we were going to go out and look for food, and we passed by a KFC, and Marjorie said, "No way."
Really?
And I said, "But I would like to go to a KFC in China because I'll bet it's a different menu." And they
Yeah, I
do
would like
they
to
do
see what it
have
looks like.
chicken, but they also have duck as well. So
How many of you have ever been to England?
yeah, here.
Yeah. Have you ever gone to a place called Wimpy's? They say that they have the home of the real American hamburger.
Yep.
You ever had a Wimpy burger?
The Wimpy's, I don't know if they're still around. I do know that McDonald's went over there. Originally, McDonald's sold the rights to McDonald's to another company, and they called it McSomething else. They didn't call it McDonald's, and it was terrible.
In Israel, there was a guy that got sued. He called himself McDavid's.
And I think they also went into France as well, and McDonald's didn't like the way they were making French fries. So they pulled as soon as the thing was up, their deal was up. They immediately took it over and waited a few years. They didn't do it immediately, but then they went back in, and I can't remember. It was called something, and I'm trying to remember what the name was now. But it was not McDonald's.
Don't they call French fries in France pommes frites?
Yeah. But also, by the way, these places were like not the same colors as McDonald's. They were blue and white rather than yellow and white. Well, yellow, red, and
McDavid's.
white. Huh?
Blue and white. Isn't that White Castle's?
Oh yeah.
It
Logo?
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be. But anyway,
The Wimpy burger is just grease on a bun. It's absolutely the worst burger ever. And so if I guess none of you have ever tasted one. Oh, you have?
what
Yeah.
what movie was Wimpy's a prominent part of?
Was that Ghostbusters?
The Donald Trump movie.
No,
Doesn't he
Yeah,
own
yeah.
Wimpy? Doesn't he own Wimpy's? It's perfect for him.
it was a British film, and it was with Dudley Moore, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now.
When did it come out?
But he works where he sells his soul to the devil, played by Peter Cook, and it was. Let me see here. But it starts out he's a loser, and he works at Wimpy's.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Anybody on the panel
be
Arthur.
no, not be Arthur'd.
No, Arthur. Arthur.
No,
No.
Arthur was set in New York.
No, it's,
Uh,
Yeah, that was with Elijah Manley, I think.
Gladly pay you on Tuesday for a hamburger
hold
today.
on a second. Let me
Never had any
let
money
me
like
look
that.
here
Bill,
at
that
the
must be a
Dudley
little-
Moore list here, and I'll tell you immediately
You
as
forget
soon
it.
as I Moore. It was actually a Dudley Moore Peter Cook film, and they both wrote it. Dudley Moore. Here we go. No, I don't want Arthur. I just want Dudley Moore. Screw you. Oh, God bless.
Hey, Brian, you missed a spot.
Let me see here. Dudley
Thanks.
Moore. Dudley Moore. Okay.
Bill was under the water.
Bedazzled.
I didn't
was the
see that.
movie. Yeah.
Didn't see it.
Yeah.
Alan has a friend that has a handlebar mustache, and he belongs to a club of, and they go to a convention with these handlebar mustaches. You remember, Alan? Who's your friend?
Oh, Ken. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a retired San Francisco cop.
Yeah, and he's got a big handlebar mustache.
They're cartoon characters.
Phil's jealous.
Well,
I could throw him.
I think that, for instance, Brian here has a really great beard. You know, I can never get mine to grow out that far, or maybe I've never let it try. But the upkeep on the beard, you know, people think, a guy grows a beard and he doesn't have to do anything with it. What do you do with yours, Kevin?
Trim it just like that.
Yeah, but
So-
you
Once in
gotta,
a while.
but you got to do it pretty regularly, otherwise it's.
So, Alex, you have beard envy?
I have beard envy. Oh,
As long as we're talking toiletries, I'm going to do a little manscaping.
There you go.
This show has really evolved.
And he was bitching about my show last night when
No.
we talked about music.
Look,
I can't hear you.
these little girls do grooming tips and makeup tips. They have 2 million followers. This is Alex's effort at getting his first million.
Kevin.
Shooting for the
Kevin,
crossover audience, huh, Bennett?
Yeah.
See, Phil uses a straight razor for when he does his manscaping.
You guys want to know the tip for growing a good beard?
What?
I always, for years and years, I had a chin strap beard, real close, and I just use a buzzer with a really low setting, and I kept it close because I can't grow it under here and all that. I have a lot of weird spots. The number one thing they'll tell you if you go to any beard shop where they do all the hipster beards, they say you got to grow it out. You got to be like a complete animal. Don't cut nothing, and you just grow it out until it's insane.
BB top.
Yeah.
Just when you just grow it out
Worse
to it, and then you bring it in, and then you can have an awesome beard. Because I could never do this before until I grew it out for COVID. So like I have these weird spots under here that don't grow. So this is much longer, but it makes up for it, and now it looks fine.
Okay, that's very good. But now here's the
That's
problem.
how I did it.
Here's the
How many
problem.
listeners do we have now?
Less than we had before.
Minus 12.
But I don't.
Okay, so you need a little girl grooming herself. That's, I guess,
Do you
how
know
it works.
Do you know the Monday show has hit over 1,000?
Boy,
Yeah.
Phil, you got this little girl
Congratulations.
thing on your mind, don't you? What's up?
Anyway, here with Brian and Kevin. I know Kevin's married. Are you married, Brian?
Yeah, there's banging on the door right now to get in and to the bathroom because this is the only bathroom in the house. So I might have to leave. Speaking of it, but
Yeah, but let me ask you this:
yeah,
how does she feel about that beard?
You're assuming it's a she.
yeah. What are you doing that for?
The German Shepherd?
I have shaved it off before, and I've traumatized the whole family.
Really? So they like it. They like it. How about you, Brian? I mean, Kevin.
Yeah, I did it once too and scared the hell out of my daughter. She didn't know who I was.
We'll call the cops.
Yeah, you take on a different personality, don't you?
I didn't tell anybody, and I turned around and I walked up to behind her, and she goes, "Oh shit!" You know, like, who was that?
I didn't shave this morning and I got stubble. Can you tell?
Really?
Nope. I haven't shaved for 2 days, and I'm about to go crazy.
I haven't shaved till since what is it? I haven't shaved till since Saturday. Okay.
I am the kind of
Pretty
person
fast, and
that shaves every day and very close shave. Now, during COVID, I was wearing mask and I was able to get away with not shaving every day. And that would be one good reason to bring back COVID, you know,
Yeah.
and the masks. You know, you wear a mask, you didn't have to shave.
Yeah. Well, Marjorie I started letting this grow out. As you notice, it's longer than it was. It's not long like you guys, but it's longer than it was. I forgot to ask Jeff. Jeff, your wife likes your beard?
Yeah, I think so.
I love it.
Okay.
She loves it.
We just heard from her on the side there. She loves it.
It's time that Tony started to groom himself. You know, can you do your hair,
Because
Tony?
I hear the reason David Letterman grew his beard like it is to piss off his wife and his kid.
I thought he didn't want to be recognized.
No. Listen, he's probably more recognized now with the beard that way than he ever could be if he just like walked down the street, you know. But some people, you know, like some wives hate beards. I mean, they just hate them, you know. But you're lucky. Do you have a woman in your life, Alan?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How does she feel about it?
Phil.
Well, she has a tail and goes, bah!
No, I have no girlfriend right now. Nothing.
You have no
Would you
girlfriend,
like
right?
one? I've got one I can recommend. I'm trying to. I got a stepdaughter we're trying to get rid of, and we'll take any bids.
Really?
Like
How old
eBay.
is she?
51.
Oh, a youngster. That's cool.
You'd be robbing the cradle there, Alan.
I know. That's what I was thinking.
She lives at home with you?
No. She wants to move back with us, but we're saying, no, we've got cats.
What does that have to do with it?
Yeah, really.
We've got people we take care of. We've got cats.
You've got cats. Oh, okay.
Sure. Cats are. Well, you had cats. When
Alex is a cat person.
Yeah. Cats require. They require a lot of attention. My cat gets up on me and says, "You will revere me, human, as you're supposed to."
Yeah. Well, the thing about cats. I mean, I love cats. Cats are my favorite pet. But I would get a cat now, except for Marjorie would like to get one too. And I just said to her, "Look, do you really want an animal in this house where every time it looks at you, it's thinking, I'm going to be here long after you're gone."
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you adopt an older one? Like rescue an older cat.
If I could find one that's on the edge of death, I think.
Well, no, some with a few years in it.
Yeah. Our problem with our cats is they live long. Our youngest cat that we have right now is 14, 15 years old.
I had a cat that lived to be 19.
I had a cat that lived to be 19, and we have his ashes in a drawer here at the house. And I told Donna, when I pass on, put my ashes by his
cats and flush it down the toilet.
No.
And the same horse that you rode in on too.
Yeah.
I told her, put me by the cat and put a TV remote control over the two of us, and it'll be just like it was when we were both alive. To sit with me and watch the same TV programs every night.
Well, but you can't do things like the cat does, like sit on top of. Remember the old days of the flat top television sets?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cats used to love to sit up there. Two reasons: it's warm, and everybody is looking at them, or they think everybody's looking at them. They're actually looking at the TV set, and then they will sit there. They would sit there on top of the TV set and start licking their balls with one leg straight up in the air.
Which was something I always envied them for being able
Well, what
to
I was going to do with my cat when he died was I was going to stuff him and then stuff him in the position he most loved, and that was him licking his balls, and just put it on like a coffee table or something.
Now, your cat used to poop in the tub. Was it that your cat was mad at you? Is that why it pooped in the tub?
Well, at least I knew where it was.
Yeah.
And we knew when he was taking a dump because we could hear clunk, clunk.
Yeah.
Right.
But the other one that would pee on in the toilet.
There was one that peed in the toilet.
Poop in the,
No, she didn't poop in the in this.
She didn't poop, it was the other one that pooped in the tub.
Yeah, and people would say to me, "Well, gee, isn't that terrible?" And I said, "Well, I know where it is. I just clean it up, and that's it. It's not like I have to, And the problem also was that they said, well, gee, if he could just get him to do something, does he urinate there too? I said, no, he goes down towards the other end and does it over the drain.
But you can train a cat to use a toilet.
Well, my cat, I didn't have to train my cat to use the toilet.
But that cat was blind.
Yeah, well, she became blind.
Mouse.
She wasn't blind.
Yeah.
She wasn't blind at the time.
I like that cat.
Yeah.
I don't like cats, but I like that cat.
Yeah, but she used to literally one night I'm sleeping and all of a sudden I hear somebody peeing in the toilet, and I look over to my wife, who at that time was who was it at the time? Susan. And I looked over and she was there, and I'm going, who's peeing in the toilet? And I run in, and there's nobody there. So I go, okay, well, I don't know what. That's probably my imagination. It was probably part of a dream. Next night I'm sleeping. All of a sudden I hear somebody peeing in the toilet, and I go in, and there's nobody there, but I see these two little wet footprints on the toilet seat. And the next night it happens, I go in there, and there's the cat sitting there on the toilet taking a pee. And Susan told me that Mouse, the name of the cat was Mouse. Mouse, for many weeks before that, was sitting there while she was taking a pee, watching her do it intently. And so apparently she said, well, she does it that way. I guess I can do it that way. So we didn't have to train her how to do it. She just did it. And people said, well, does she crap in there too? He said, well, we can't expect everything.
That would be good if she's going to do number 1 and number 2.
Yeah,
The little thing.
But we didn't have to train her how to do it. She just did it, and did it for the rest of her life. You know, even when she became blind, and she even did it when she was blind.
Yeah, I remember.
By the way, I always wondered something, by the way, and I finally asked him. I always wondered, if you're blind, how do you know when you're through wiping your ass?
Use your thumb.
And I went to the best authority I knew on that subject, Stevie Wonder.
You asked him?
And he yeah, of course I asked him that. I was good friends with him, and I could ask him a question like that. And he said, you just do it you keep doing it until there's a lot of friction. You can tell when there's...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I use the bidet.
Oh, they have.
Do you really?
Kind of cleans your water.
You like?
I haven't used toilet paper in years.
Do you have
unless I'm, somewhere.
You have a bidet in your home?
I have it's a wand. It hooks up to the faucet thing.
Isn't paper just easier to use?
Oh.
He's like Julius Caesar.
His wand is made so you can do yourself an enema every day and be clean for the whole day. What a great way to go.
By the way, we're down to the
Never have emergencies to find the bathroom.
We're down to the lowest number of the night right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we're talking shit.
No, stop it. I have to make this show family friendly so I don't get it demonetized.
Oh, good luck.
Okay, it's good shit.
Oh, wait a minute. Good shit is what you smoke.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So anyway, there was one item here I wanted to... Oops, let me go over here and get it.
Well, look, we have 2 Brians on the show now.
Did you hear about Gavin Newsom? What he did today?
What happened?
No. Did he cheat on his wife again?
No. Okay. And that was years ago, by the way.
What's the difference?
I know, you'll never let him forget. Did you ever cheat on your wife?
Yeah.
Okay, then shut the fuck up, okay?
But I'm not Gavin Newsom. He's got better hair.
He's better looking, too. He ripped into Fox News, OAN, Newsmax, calling them propaganda networks and announcing new state unit to combat misinformation. He said that perhaps one of the great disinformation networks in America, One America News, for spreading a lot of misinformation about COVID. And he didn't stop there. He said, I'm not just referring to Newsmax or primetime propaganda lineup of Fox News, but all of their pundits that safely have been boosted, fully vaccinated, and still go on to promote this whole thing as being bad. Okay, so so Newsom came out and he said he's coming out with they have a group of people who are going to put together some information and stuff like that for people to get a place for them to get the information, and get decent
Nancy
information.
Pelosi not wearing a mask during the height of COVID as she got her hair done in a salon that was closed in San Francisco but opened for her.
Yeah.
And
So
the Newsom photo, I don't have anymore. But of him in the French Laundry at the height of COVID, not wearing his mask.
And your point is?
My point is that he's disingenuous, and he's
but Trump isn't disingenuous.
No.
Oh, no.
Well, that's
okay.
a whataboutism, huh?
No,
whataboutisms.
No, that's a question. I just asked you about.
No, he's not disingenuous.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
he's a lot of other things.
He's 75.
He's not 75. He's older than that.
Well, whatever.
Wait a minute. Here, we'll go to the authority.
Okay.
Echo, how old is Donald Trump?
Donald Trump is 75.
Oh, he is 75.
Oh, have a drink on Alex.
I thought he was about 77, something like that.
Yeah.
He acts like he's about 4.
Yeah.
Hey, Alex.
Yeah.
Ask Echo how old you are.
Well, Echo knows. Echo, how old is Alex Bennett?
Which
Alex
one?
Bennett is 82 years old.
82 years
He was
old.
born on December 18th, 1939.
See, it even has my birthday.
How many times did you have to talk to it to get it to?
No. I'm in Wikipedia. That's where it goes to find out.
What'd you think of that Alex Bennett thing I sent you from Barstool Sports and Dave Portnoy?
To begin with, I've never heard of this Dave Portnoy. Never heard of him.
You never heard of Dave Portnoy?
No.
Or Barstool Sports?
No.
Or his pizza
yeah.
reviews?
Yeah, like of course. I'm very big into sports.
Well, he's got 1 million followers. No, he goes around all over the country eating pizza. He takes one bite and then he rates it. And he can make or break a pizza parlor by his review.
Well, anybody can become a star for any reason. But anyway, I never heard of the guy. And you told me, you led me to some kind of soundbite where he was literally railing against Alex Bennett.
Right, but
it's got to be another Alex Bennett.
It was a woman that worked for him named Alex Bennett.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I thought you get a kick out of it, but he's a big.
I wrote on his Facebook page or whatever page it was posted on, or YouTube.
Yeah.
I said, quite frankly, I never said anything about you, and I don't even know who you are.
Well, it would be great if he came on the show to talk to you, because that would get you thousands of views.
He sounded like a rather unsavory human being. So.
Well, he's Jewish.
Is he? Oh, well, then he's got to be a great person, right?
No, he's quite well known. I'm surprised you know.
Never heard of him. Never heard of him.
Has anybody else heard of Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports?
You have, right?
Tony
He
knows.
actually came to a pizzeria 2 blocks from my house, Alex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you talked them out of the pizzeria. You were talking to them.
His 2 top reviews in the country. One is DeFaro's in Brooklyn, and the other is John's on Bleecker. And the highest ratings he's ever given a pizza parlor.
I'll tell you, I've been to John's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You know how you do good pizza in New York, how you get good pizza reviews and everybody beating a path to your door. You put more of something on the pizza. Like you remember,
New York pizza's thin, oily, and
no.
Or Sicilian.
It's thin, but you don't know thin pizza.
In New York, one time I was in Brooklyn. My ex-wife's name was Susan. She grew up in San Francisco. Never had New York pizza. We were in Brooklyn for one reason or another, and I said, just snap your fingers. I'll pull over at the first available parking space, and whatever pizza parlor is closest to the car, we'll go into. If it's not the best pizza you ever had, I'll eat my hat. It was a Ray's pizza. There's a million Ray's pizzas.
Well, if you looked at in the old days, if you looked up Ray's pizza in the phone book,
in the book,
there were like 100 Ray's pizzas.
Yeah,
there was only one Ray's pizza, and that was on 6th Avenue, between 14th and 15th.
So, what did your hat taste like, Phil?
It was the best pizza she'd ever had.
Wow.
And I got her a Sicilian and a slice.
But you know why Ray's Pizza became so famous?
No.
Because they put more cheese on the pizza. That's how you became big. Is you just put more sausage on it. Put more whatever. Out in California, put more pineapple on it.
Yeah, ham and pineapple.
Yeah, but.
Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's.
Hey, John Larkin, how are you?
Nice bridge, John.
I know.
Extreme Pizza in San Francisco.
No, Frankie, Johnny, and Luigi's in Mountain View.
I never had that.
Best pizza in the world.
In case people just joined us, John Larkin has behind him the most beautiful bridge in America, which is the Golden Gate Bridge. It's just probably one of the most iconic bridges in the world. And in back of Phil is one of the ugliest bridges in the United States, the San Francisco Bay Bridge.
Yeah, well, I got I don't transfer that many pictures to this thing, but here's a picture of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Duck, so we can see all of it.
Yeah, well, it's I took it in the fog from a boat. Wait a minute. Gosh, son of a bitch, I gotta get out of the way.
Oh my God, he's wearing pants tonight when he stood up.
That's the Golden Gate also.
Yeah, it's a very nice shot.
Yeah.
It's not good for a background, though.
No, it's terrible for a background.
It was very foggy day. The sun was just coming through, and it had those rays on it.
But it's hard to take a bad picture of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of the most beautiful bridges.
That was from your iPhone 5, wasn't it, Phil?
No.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I got to get out of here because I've got to do a program called The Intersection. I'd like to extend an invitation to all of you that are with Alex. If you want to hang around and come back, I'd appreciate it.
No, you got food?
You got to have Skype.
You giving out food?
Am I going to have food? Yeah, here, food this.
It's on Skype. Tell him, Jack.
I'm sorry. Was that a cue?
Yeah.
Skype us. Gabnet Live. And we'll talk about whatever's on your mind.
Okay.
Maybe even talk about what we talked about last night.
Yeah. Okay. See you later. Bye, Phil. Bye. Thank you. Brian, the other Brian. We have two Brians tonight. We have Brian with an I and Brian with a Y. Oops. And Brian with a I. How are you doing this fine day?
Good. I was hoping to talk about the Canada stuff with truckers for an hour tonight. So I had not an emergency, but I had to go up to Lodi unexpectedly. Mm-hmm. I found out last night, so I wasn't on the show. And then, so I said, well, that's fine because then I can listen to it. I get about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to Lodi. So I'll listen to it on the way there or back or a little bit of both. And yeah, I was glad I wasn't on the show last night.
Well, I thought it was interesting because, this is a big story. Okay. And yet as Americans, we sit here and don't completely understand it. All we understand is that the Canadians have become assholes just like us.
I also think that it's government overreach, and what we understand is we're lucky to be in America because in Canada, they can't even blow their horn without getting arrested.
Canada is the most fascist country in the world.
It's turned out to be.
It's just turned out to be an absolute fascist I dare say
They got
I dare say that Justin Trudeau is the same as Adolf Hitler.
Well, no, I heard someone say that he was a haircut with an ego.
You don't get the joke I just pulled because you had what's his name, the guy who's sending rockets up, SpaceX.
Musk.
Elon Musk. Yeah.
Like you promised Steve last night, go on his Facebook and watch his TikTok videos. You promised him.
I will go over there this weekend and look at it.
He said that he would go to his feed. He didn't say he'd watch his.
Well, what he was doing is he was, and I don't want to talk about him while he's not here, but he was talking about, you got to go to TikTok. There are TikTok videos of this, and I'm going, TikTok is not a reputable news agency. If anything, it's an arm of the Chinese government.
But he's posting like every 2 hours. He's posting something on there.
He was very passionate. I thought he was very passionate last night. I'd never seen a side of him like that. That would have scared Rocky the dog. But I think that his take on it is he just doesn't want to be told what to do, and that's the way.
No, you don't want to be told what to do, but you're told you have to have a driver's license. You're told you have to do this. You're told you have to do that.
They're being threatened.
No, Phil.
By jackbooted thugs.
Let's save that we're fighting for our rights for a time when somebody is trying to take your rights away from you. This is not that kind of deal, Phil. No, it's not. No, not even close.
It's because you like to wear a mask. You've been scared
I didn't say,
to the point where...
No, I don't like to wear a mask, and I haven't been unduly scared. I know that there are over 900,000 dead people in the United States, and a good deal of them recently have been the ones who don't get vaccinated and don't wear masks, okay? And quite frankly, this is a question of public health and public welfare. And no more, no less. This isn't, I have to have my freedoms to not wear a mask. Well, then if you don't want to wear a mask, don't go outdoors. Don't go into a supermarket. Don't go out to a restaurant, okay?
Maybe it would be okay if they could make their own personal choice as to whether they're going to wear a mask.
No, they can't make their own personal choice because this is a matter of public welfare.
If you want to wear a mask...
Bottom line is, Phil... That more than any other single factor, and I think most people here will agree with me, it's being good to your neighbor. Okay, it's being a good American. It's being a good citizen. Does anybody disagree with what I'm saying?
Yes. Look how many counties and states have now dropped the mask mandates across the United States.
And how many of them are Republican?
Well, what about San Francisco? Is that a Republican?
They haven't done away completely with the mask mandate in San Francisco.
They're making infants wear them, but everybody else.
No. If you go into a restaurant or whatever, still in San Francisco, they haven't done away with mask mandates. They've done away.
Contra Costa.
Well, that's Contra Costa. They're idiots. Okay.
That's a good way to.
Well, I think you are an idiot if you're. They're thinking of doing away with masks here in New York City, but if I go into the subway, I'm still going to wear one. I'm sorry.
No, you have to wear one in a subway.
No, but what I'm saying is
in a post office. They're thinking you have to wear one in an airport.
Yes, John.
How many people have actually been arrested for not wearing a mask? Zero.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about Steve when he's not here either. But some of the stuff that he's posting, he posts. Let me put it this way: there's TikTok video of somebody getting arrested, and the cops are shutting up about it, and they're saying, "Oh, these are fake cops. Look, they don't have badge numbers. They don't have this." In Canada, I don't know if they have the badge numbers on there, but whatever. But the person who's narrating it is definitely saying what they want you to see. Like, wow, that person's just talking and they're getting arrested. And the cops are just looking at the guy. And the cops aren't going to say, no, we're arresting them because of this, blah, 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 blah. The cops are just doing their job, doing whatever they're arresting that person for, but this person narrating it is trying to tell a story, whether that story is true or not. But now that gets put on TikTok or it gets put on any kind of social media, and now you're interpreting what that person is saying, which could be a total lie.
Yeah.
And I also watched Fox today for quite a while and tried to get some more of the story, and they're doing the same thing. I watched Tucker tonight too, and Tucker was also talking about the martial law declaration and how they're taking away all the money. And I didn't get the whole story, so I'll throw that disclaimer in there, but they are claiming all the Bitcoin stuff on exchanges only, and you can hold your own Bitcoin very easily by putting it into your own account and using your 12 words, and you can keep your money. Your money won't be taken away if you keep it in your own account.
Kevin, there were two things.
I've got the floor, Phil.
Phil.
All right.
Kevin's got the floor. Let him finish.
So
I got the floor. I'm the floor guy.
Will you let him finish, please, Phil?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So if you got your money in your own account, they won't take your money. They can't take your money. So if you've got it in an exchange, they can probably get it.
Yeah.
So that's the points. Those are the points that are not being expressed. And Tucker sat there, and he made a whole thing about how the government is taking your money, and they're just taking it, and you can't get a hold of it. Blah blah blah. And they got this guy on, and talked to him, and he said, "That's not necessarily true. You can keep your money if you've got your 12 words and it's in your account. It's all good.
If
Don't
it's in
put it into
Bitcoin,
an exchange."
Kevin, what they were talking about was the GoFundMe money, and there was another kind of
We're talking about Bitcoin. Period.
crowdfunding.
Digital coins. That's all.
Well, they're saying that if you did it in Bitcoin, then, and I didn't watch Tucker tonight.
And it went into an exchange. Yes, you
right.
lose.
You could do that, but
You
as
have
far
it in
as
your own account. It
yes.
goes nowhere.
But two crowdfunding things were confiscated by the government. Well,
In an
one
exchange. It's going to an exchange.
This is not a Bitcoin exchange. This was a crowdfunding with real dollars. That
Well,
was
that I don't know.
Yeah,
I told you in the
and-
beginning.
and
I
I-
disclaimed. I didn't know it all. I was just talking about the Bitcoin.
Yeah, and
That's
how
what
do
I tried to
you
say.
know that those people who are doing the funding are legitimate?
Well, there was one woman who owned a restaurant, donated $25, and they actually doxed her. And then people are protesting at a restaurant, and she's in tears. I don't know where her restaurant is. It could be in Canada. But so there was the GoFundMe, and there was another crowdfunding thing I never heard of, but I don't know whether it's legitimate or not, but I guess it's a big one similar to GoFundMe. And the government seized that money. The GoFundMe was refunded back to the individuals that donated. So,
There's more to it, I think. But
so what they said was if you used Bitcoin, the government wouldn't be able to touch that. But I don't know nothing about Bitcoin. I don't even know how to birth. I don't know how to birth any babies. You know, like Butterfly McQueen. But
What?
you know,
Well, I'd mind
Well,
for
what Brian was saying is that they are selectively editing some of these videos that are going around. Even Fox was, because I saw the same thing. I think Brian saw.
I'm sure
there was an arrest and there was a confrontation on the street, and it was cut right when the cop walked up there, and the guy was talking, "Which way do I go? Do you want me to go this way, or do you want me to go that way?" And the guy says, "You're under arrest." Boom, and they cut it, and they didn't finish it.
Yeah.
And he had just had a decent
Well, you
conversation
got to
with
remember,
the cop.
and I said this last
Well,
night. This is a screen. There's a lot of stuff that goes on outside of that screen, and where that camera decides to point itself is the prejudice that's given to a story,
and where the editor wants to edit it.
Exactly. Hey, listen, I got the theme going and everything. First of all, say goodnight to your pussy.
Night pussy.
Yeah, what's the name of the cat, Brian?
Misty.
Oh,
I had my hand raised, and then she was so titillated, she came up and she started getting.
What were you going to say? Quick, did you have something to say?
Yeah, this whole Canada thing's an indictment of stupidity, economic.
Yeah.
The truckers up there are idiots, wasting their own billable time, and the Canadians are just they're stifling their own economy. Both sides of this issue is just stupid. I just can't take it.
Anyway, that's it for tonight. We got to go. Alan, thank you for being here. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it. Thank you to the first Brian with a Y. And thanks to Jeff, I think he's asleep now, which is fine. You know, it's
cleaning his teeth.
And thank you very much, Phil, for being here tonight. Tony, good having you here, and Brian with an I. Thank you for being here. Oh, look at that cat! It's terrific. And of course, the lovely and attractive. John Larkin, thank you for joining us, even though it was a bit late. We love seeing you. You know, you're an old friend. And let me see here. Who did we lose, by the way? We lost somebody here. I don't know who.
Jeff hasn't said anything tonight.
I just like Jeff being here, you know? Anyway, good night to all of you. And why don't you give a big wave goodbye, and I'll give a big wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's our citizen panel, and they're through for tonight. They'll be back again next week, I'm sure, many of them, and it was a fun kind of light conversation tonight for the most part. Jack Bishop is next with The Intersection. I'll be taking your calls on Skype at Gabnet Live. I'm Alex Bennett. We'll see you again on Monday on Facebook with the pop-up show, and then back here again on Wednesday at 10:30, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? And by the way, wear a mask, and if you don't wear a mask, make sure you're inoculated, vaccinated. Have a nice weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.